Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. At Mint Mobile, we like to do the opposite of what Big Wireless does. They charge you a lot, we charge you a little. So naturally, when they announced they'd be raising their prices due to inflation, we decided to deflate our prices due to not hating you. That's right. We're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
This is Connery, a speculative novel written by John Bleasdale.
I met Sean Connery when I was 9 years old. It was on the beach, and there was no one else there. Beneath Hampton Rock, near where the sad little 9-hole golf course, worn out by the wind, gave up and the sand dunes began. The Ice Age had dumped Hampton Rock on the shore, a lump of limestone capped with long grass. Small white clouds raced under a tall blue sky, and I was sitting at the mouth of the cave that always dripped, looking out at where the tide was coming in over the biscuity sands. I was crying, or trying to cry, and I looked up and a man was standing there.
"Do you mind if I use your cave?" the man said. "Just for a moment."
I couldn't see him properly because my hair was in my face, and my eyes were bleary. He waved a cigarette in the air.
"I need some shelter to light my cigarette."
I squidged over and nodded, and he stepped forward and crouched out of the wind. He clicked a lighter, a flame sprang up, doing a little dance the size of a lady's fingernail, and cupping his hand, he managed to get the cigarette lit. He puffed on it to make sure the flame held. The smoke wreathed his face like a dissolving beard, and then he straightened up. He was very tall, was balding, and he had a moustache. "You're Sean Connery," I said.
"I am," he said, with an end-of-discussion firmness.
He turned and looked out at the tide.
"It's coming in fast."
"What are you doing here?" "Golf." Not looking at me, he waved a hand towards the golf course. I let him smoke. Talking to strangers was forbidden by Charlie the cartoon cat, but it was Sean Connery, so he was hardly a stranger. I dried my eyes and nose with the cuffs of my jumper, leaving snail trails of snot.
"Why have you been crying?"
"My dog died."
"Yes?"
He blinked.
"That's too bad."
He kept his hand cupped around the cigarette as he smoked, and plumes of smoke sometimes came out of his nose, as if he was a dragon and the inside of his head was on fire.
"Are you a boy?"
"Yes."
"Sorry," he chuckled. "It's just with your hair and the crying, I thought you might be a little girl."
I rubbed my face with the heel of my hand until I was sure there were no tears. Earlier, I'd been trying to cry, and now that I didn't want to, I felt like I might burst into tears at any moment. "I'm a boy. My name is Samuel."
"Well, Sammy—"
No one called me Sammy.
"It's no good moping, is it? That never changed anything. Tears? We have no time for tears."
He stood for another moment. The wind lifted the strands of hair that he combed over his bald head, waving them like ribbons. He took another drag of his cigarette and then swallowed the smoke. The side of his face had folds.
You were upset about your dog, Shammy?
Yes, my dog died.
Name?
Alan.
Your dog's name was Alan?
Yes.
Was it suicide?
What do you want? No, it wasn't suicide.
A dog called Alan.
Connery shook his head.
Unbelievable.
He took 3 quick drags of his cigarette and then flicked the butt up into the wind and away over the sands. He smoothed his hair down with both hands and took a flat cap from his pocket, unfolded it and settled it firmly on his head. He turned to me and stuck out his hand. I reached out and he grabbed it hard, like he was squeezing some force into me.
Shammy, do me a favour.
Yes, Mr. Connery.
Get your hair cut.
I nodded, aware that my hair was being whipped around my face like a scribble annihilating a bad drawing. He was staring hard into my eyes. I felt he would detect it if I was lying, so I decided I would ask Mum to take me to the barber and I'd get my hair cut, and as soon as I made the internal decision, I was able to say with tearless strength, "Okay, I will."
Promise?
Promise. He let go of my hand and nodded.
Good man.
He peered behind me into the darkness of the cave and then turned back to the horizon, the sea, the sand and the wind. He waved, but I called to him before he got too far, "Mr. Connery! Mr. Connery!" He only half turned, so he was in profile, his hands thrust deep in his pockets, bending slightly. "My dad does a really good impersonation of you," I called. He nodded, taking it in, and then walked back to me and leaned close so he didn't have to raise his voice.
Your dad sounds like an asshole,
Sean Connery said, but it came out "sounds like an ashhole," which was how my dad would do it too. And then he was gone.
Connery is a speculative novel written by John Bleasdale. It was read by Kai Ross, and the music was by 2 Minute Noodles.
If there's one thing that my family and friends know me for, it's being an amazing gift giver. I owe it all to Celebrations Passport from 1-800-Flowers.com, my one-stop shopping site that has amazing gifts for every occasion. With Celebrations Passport, I get free shipping on thousands of amazing gifts. And the more gifts I give, the more perks and rewards I earn. To learn more and take your gift giving to the next level, visit 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST.
Cue the fireplace and your favorite fall movie. There's nothing better than a cozy evening at home with a glass of First Leaf wine. First Leaf is a personalized wine club that delivers right to your door. Sounds magical, right? They get to know your favorite tasting notes, which varietals you enjoy, and whether you prefer sweet or dry wines. So in every shipment, you get bottles tailored to your unique palate. Go to tryfirstleaf.com/fall to get your first 6 wines for just $44.95 with free shipping.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.